Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm reading now for, who am I reading for? I'm reading for Scorpio energy. um, and Scorpio, hopefully you're going to absolutely love this reading because it's very much designed around your energy. It's Scorpio season. Happy birthday, Scorpios. I hope you have a great birthday. It's spooky season, so we're going to have Halloween soon. And it's just generally that season where people like to get a bit freaky deaky. So I'm just thinking about Doja Cat. It was her birthday yesterday. She's like Libra, Scorpio cusp. So, and I'm mentioning like freaky deaky. So are you getting freaky deaky with someone this season, Scorpio? What I'm asking is, who are you connecting with on the 5D? So who are you dreaming of? Who are you meeting in meditation? Who are you talking to on the astral realm, right? So what's going on beyond the veil? Who are you connected with in that kind of like psychic space? So hopefully you're going to love it because it's very much like Scorpio themed. If it's not your thing, if it's not your vibe, that's absolutely fine. You can either take it as a piece of entertainment or just disregard it. It is intended to be just a little bit of like Halloween fun. So yeah, I'm going to get into it. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet and you would like to do so, I would love that, please. It would really help out the channel and hopefully give me access to community tools to help me be able to communicate with you guys better. I am actually stumbling over my words a little bit, so I don't know what that is. I don't know if somebody's doing that. I don't know if it's you or somebody around you. So just be aware that that might be a part of the reading. Really kind of like stumbling to get my words out. I don't know if somebody's got a bit of a stutter. So yeah, I think let's jump into it. I'm going to get you a song. So who is Scorpio connecting with? Again, remember it's going to have a slight spooky vibe. I feel like you're going to be totally comfortable with that, being a Scorpio. But some people, and you know, get a bit uncomfortable or a bit freaked out by it. So it's, again, intended to be fun. Don't get freaked out. It's fine. It's fine. So what do we have, please, for Scorpio and whoever or whatever they're connecting with? Doja Cat. No way. No way. I'm not making this up, guys. You've got Doja Cat Woman. So it's, oh, if you've not seen the music video to this, she's literally like the embodiment of Aphrodite. She's so gorgeous and like such a good dancer. Like, it's a beautiful video. Very, very sexy. So it's woman. Let me be your woman. I can be your woman. Know what you need, she give tenfold, come here. Papa, plant your seed so she can grow it from the womb, a family. So it's kind of like bigging up women and like women's bodies and like what women's bodies are capable of. Again, I don't know how you personally feel about that. I don't know how you identify in terms of sex and gender. So being two different things, I'm aware of that before anybody gets grumpy with me. You know, but your own relationship to your body, I don't know how you feel about that. But this song itself is just like, women are amazing. Like, the women's bodies are designed in such a cool way that they can literally create life. Like, very much Empress energy. She can grow it from the womb, a family, provide loving, overlooked and underappreciated, you see. You can't reciprocate. I got delicious taste. Excuse me, maybe somebody rides like a motorbike or something. I got delicious taste. You need a woman's touch in your place. Just protect her and keep her safe. Baby, worship my hips and waist. It is a little bit traditional, so again, don't know how you feel about that, but this is the song that came through. So feminine with grace. I touch your soul when you hear me say, boy, let me be your woman. I saw 333 on the timestamp. So she's super sexy, Doja Cat. I love her so. She's really fun as well. Like, great sense of humor. I'm a swear warning, guys. I'm a motherfucker, but they got a problem. Put some babies in your life and take away the drama. Put a paper in the picture like a diorama. Gotta face it, a lot of people love the opposite because the world told me we ain't got that common sense. Gotta prove it to myself that I'm on top of shit. And you never know a god without the goddess. Honestly, I mean, if you want to be a god and a god, or a goddess and a goddess, or I don't know, however you identify, it's fine. Okay, I want to throw that out there if I'm doing something that's particularly gendered. But I do think that women need to be celebrated. You know, the feminine needs to be celebrated more. And you know, honestly, it feels like the people celebrating the feminine best right now are drag queens. Like, they're the best, right? They're the best feminines around. And women are tending to in general, again, women are tending into a more androgynous or boyish look. If you think about like people like Billie Eilish, again, I'm not saying there's right or wrong, but you know, it's nice to be like, and like Margot Robbie in the Barbie film as well, right? It's nice to celebrate traditional feminine bodies, traditional feminine beauty, and to say that that's okay, right? That's a good thing. Like, however, you know, whatever your body's like, however you identify, we're all beautiful. You know what I mean? I don't know. I know what I mean. But yeah, this is like a badass boss bitch woman. It's fucking honest kid and I could be on everything. I mean, I could be the leader, the head of all states. I could jiggle and smile until its pocket's empty. I could be the CEO, just like Robin Fenty. And I'm going to be there for you because you are my team girl. Don't ever think you're ahead of these, I'm not going to say that, dream girl. They want to pit us against each other when we succeed. This is nice. This is like girl power. They want to pit us against each other when we succeed, and for no reasons. They want to see us end up like we're Regina on Mean Girls. Princess or queen, tomboy or king. Here we go, Doja. You've heard a lot you've never seen. Mother Earth, Mother Mary, rise to the top. Divine feminine, I'm feminine. Woman, let me be your woman. Gorgeous. Love it. She's a queen. Love her so much. So I don't know how you feel about that. But that's, I don't know, maybe you are connecting with a very kind of like divine feminine, like goddess on earth or goddess of the ethers, kind of like super sexy woman. I think that's probably you, Scorpio, if you do identify as feminine, because Scorpio is a hot, hot, hot energy. Again, Doja Cat is Libra Scorpio cusp, and she has a, if I remember correctly, a Scorpio Libra placement. So she's very, very spicy, and she owns it and she works it and she's queen. So queens, Scorpios, divine feminines. What do we have for Scorps? Who is Scorpio? God, if there's a specific card and if it comes out, I'm gonna be like, whoa. I'm picturing a card right now. Just check the lovers on the bottom. I'm just thinking like of what. Okay. Who is Scorpio, please? Who's Scorpio, please? Who's Scorpio, please? Scorpio's energy. Secretive. If you are fiery and spicy, it's on a needs to know basis, right? You're not turning it on for everybody here. The Fool. What? Forrest Gump. I'm trying to find the there you go. That's what I was picturing. The devil. Smell my hair, I can till dawn. That's the Scorpio card. Right, have we got a cross watcher in here? The Fool. Right, so let's take, I mean, maybe you've just watched Forrest Gump, right? If not, like, take it or leave it. It's Aries energy. Somebody may have a little white dog. It's an energy of like, I'm ready to take a chance. I want to take a leap of faith here. I'm trusting my instincts. I'm trusting my intuition. I feel like I'm being divinely guided. I'm gonna just run in that direction, right? It's like, I'm gonna drop everything, just grab what I need and go. So that feels Scorpio, not necessarily Forrest Gump, but we'll see. I mean, what I would say, an element of Scorpio energy that does tie in with this really, really well is that I've just seen something that's fascinating. I'll come back to it. Scorpio is a surprisingly goal-orientated sign, a little bit like Taurus, right? It's like I see where I want to go. I know what success looks like to me, and that is what I'm going to stick to. That is what I'm going to aim for. And you can be very, very determined to do it. So if you have your sights set on something, you're gonna get it, right? You may not run directly towards it, but you probably will. It's almost like you skirt around and get there. You know, you win anyway, but you may have taken a bit more of a hidden route. So yeah, if you want something, you're gonna get it, basically. It's making me think of a Madonna song, Sooner or Later. She's like, sooner or later you're gonna be mine. Sooner or later you're gonna be fine. Because no one I've kissed, babe, ever fights me again. It's like, you know the power of your seduction. Because no one I've kissed, babe, ever. Sorry, I love that song. Okay, Scorpios, I'm all over the place. Are you dealing with someone scatty or are you scatty? Maybe someone scats, you know, like, I'm the scat man. Skibidi-bidi-da-ba-da-bub. I don't know. If it comes through in the reading, it's part of the reading. I heard another motorbike go past as well. Really hot. Really hot. It's not even that hot today. It's just your energy's spicy. I'm scared to ask, who's Scorpio connecting with? Who is Scorpio connecting with? The Hangman, Aquarius. Everybody's Aquarius, right? Could definitely be 100% Aquarius. Oh, look at that, like, kind of like spaceman energy there as well. Whoa, look at how like alien and wibbly wobbly timey wimey those cards are. The Magician, the Star, the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, Strength. All right, Hangman. Somebody who has a very, very unique perspective. Somebody who sees things very differently from everybody else. They could be very tied up at the moment. This person could feel like their hands are tied in some sort of way, but yeah, very unique, very quirky. They may have that kind of like alien type starseed quality to them. Okay. Sad that Salma Hayek didn't come out. Scorpio. Oh, okay, before I pull this out, I'm being told. The other thing that I was seeing was this little white feather in his hand. Now, what's fascinating to me is there's another deck over here where, I mean, it's a feature of the Fool card, right? But it's really drawing me to that other reading because I was really drawn to this white feather that this person had in the hand. And I'm trying to think now which reading it came out in. But it was like somebody who's suddenly taken a leap of faith. It's like, I don't know, maybe like picking up a note from somebody and being like, I've got to go. Or like, it's almost like some kind of symbol. It's like something kind of like, it's like a sign from spirit or something left by a person. But it means something to you. And it's like suddenly springing into action. It's like not even thinking about it, just going, right? So it's almost like I don't know, like it's like somebody's getting on the plane, but they've not got their, like, you know, they've not got their like lucky coin or something. Like I've got this like old £2 coin here as well sat by me. It's like they've not got their lucky coin, or they've not got their, it's like they've left without it and you know they need it. So it's like you're running to, it's like time, like no time to waste here. You spring into action. It's like you're running because that symbol's been it's motivated you to do it. I feel like Santaro had a similar reading this week. I can't remember which reading it was, but she was talking about somebody's like, it's funny that I picked up the crystal as well. It's like somebody's special charm, right? Or somebody's like lucky thing that they keep in the pocket. And you're like, it's like you've seen that they've left it behind and so you're like running to take it to them. They're giving me, don't leave home without it. Okay. Oh, are you connecting with a Cancer? Cancer had these two cards, but like that. But I was saying it's like Cancer's going to end up on the throne. So, nostalgia, focus on the here and now, and feast, slow down and celebrate yourself. Okay, so you're moving very quickly. So it's like you're running around trying to do everything, or you're running around trying to prepare, or you're running around chasing people. So with the Fool, it's like very spontaneous, very fast. The Fool, they're the opposite of Libra, right? Aries is the opposite of Libra. And Aries is very impulsive. They do things because it's feels right in the moment. They don't like think about things too much. It's just like, do you know what? I'll worry about that later. Where Libra's the opposite sign. So that Libra's more like, I'm going to put a lot of thought into this before I take any action. So Libra's a lot more slow moving because they really analyze things so they can make sure they make the right choice. Aries is like, I'm just going to make a choice, and if it breaks and I do it wrong, I'll go and take the other choice later. I'll fix it and I'll figure that out later. So it's like they just don't put any thought into it. So this is like, you're doing, maybe you've got Aries in your chart, but it's like you're running around doing something. You've not put a lot of thought into what you're doing. It's very instinctive, but this is like slow down, right? So I feel like you're connected to somebody else. It could be somebody who's like a friend to you. Could be a Cancerian. You've got this person, it's like a friend, and they are perhaps very daydreamy, or they see you as very daydreamy. It's like lost in their own thoughts, maybe a bit forgetful. So they are forgetting to take things. It's like maybe they're going to like a job interview and they've not taken, they've not taken what would you need for a job interview? Like the portfolio. Right, it's like they've gone to the job for interview, but their portfolio's at home, and it's like you're the partner, and you're like, oh my god, they've left the portfolio, like I need to go, right? But maybe this person does that kind of thing a lot, so you've got to slow down and celebrate yourself. So you're running around after this other person, And you're being reminded to take the time to maybe like not even eating properly, right? You're running all these errands perhaps, you know, skipping meals. You know, it gets really thin, doesn't it? Tom Hanks in that movie. What was it calling him? Was it giving him was I saying the wrong name earlier? I feel like I was saying the wrong name. Maybe somebody's called Tom. If I was saying the wrong name, it's probably part of the reading. Probably somebody has like that name. Yeah, so don't forget to look after yourself. Stop running around after everybody else. And nostalgia, focus on the here and now. Nostalgia. It's really just giving me like the imagery like of like a job interview or something. Giving me, and they're off. And now they're giving me off to the races. Lana Del Rey. Running all over town. That's why they're giving it me. Okay, I've got it. There we go. It's like they always trying to get me to something that makes sense in the end, but sometimes it doesn't make sense until I've kind of like got to where they're leading me. Okay. The Hangman. Running all over town. Oh god, that's a lot. Okay. Make the change. So it's like releasing themselves from something that's got them all tied up. Make the change. Again, sword is air sign, so it could very well be Aquarius. Stars, the star card is Aquarius. You've got Aquarius all over this. You can manifest your every wish. Voyage, you already have all the answers. So it's like the held up. Maybe it is like, could be a Libra as well, but it's got that energy of like analysis paralysis. You know, like, yeah, it feels like this is you. And then this is that person, and this person's a little bit daydreamy, right? They maybe Pisces as well. Okay, what I'm seeing. So you've got universe, we're all just stardust again. Very, very stars, Pisces. Stars, universe is very Aquarius. And then raindrops, take a chance in them. It's almost like the sky's falling. So I've got this card in my own deck called the Underwater Astronaut, and it's because sometimes the ocean and space are interchangeable for me. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but I'm seeing something with these. It's like what's up is down and what's down is up. You know how like just with like the Hangman being a different perspective. I'm just trying to get into the energy of this person, and they think very uniquely. They think very differently. So I'm just trying to pull that in and understand what I'm seeing here. So it's like this person looks at the world upside down in a way that it's like what's up is down and what's down is up. So, you know, when you look at the ocean and it reflects the sky, it's like the ocean looks blue because the sky's blue, but the sky looks blue because the ocean's blue, right? So it's like, it's almost like glass half full, glass half empty. It's all in how you look at something. It's like what's up is down and what's down is up. Very, very unusual way of thinking. Very unique. It is feeling like when I connect to that, one of my guides is called like Starman. It's kind of, sometimes I say it's like the whale in the star whale, right? Or this kind of quirky alien type character, and it often comes in with like kind of like astronomy and physics, because, and it comes in a lot through Capricorn's reading, and I feel like Capricorn has something really similar in their reading. And again, this could be like, you know how the rules of physics don't apply in dreams, right? Because this is all about like who you're connecting with in dreams, perhaps. It has the same thing as I was getting in Capricorn's reading, where again, this energy tends to come in a lot in Starman's readings. So strange. Like, where it's like, okay, I'm just going to pause, hold on. Okay, so I feel like this person, again, they could really be quite daydreamy, right? Sometimes you're talking to them and it's like their brain's off in space, right? They find it hard to ground in this reality. And again, I feel like Santara's been talking about this in their readings. I'm Libra, I swear she was talking about this in Libra's reading. Was it Libra's reading? I'm not 100% sure now. But it's like, this person's talking to them, and it's like, it's a very, very kind of normal, everyday conversation, you know, like, oh, and then I took my kids to school, and little Bobby, like, left his shoe in the car, and then I had to go, like, and then I was trying to buy him a new shoe, and I couldn't find him a new shoe, and I went to all these different shops, and it's like this person's brain doesn't work like that, and they find it so mundane and monotonous. It's really hard for them to focus on that conversation. So maybe somebody with a little bit of like, maybe like ADHD or Asperger's, not that I'm diagnosing people, but that's kind of, you know, like, if you're ever around people with like ADHD or Asperger's, sometimes it's really hard for them to focus on a conversation that's not engaging to them, right? It's like, because the brain wants to go off to the things that are more engaging, right? So it's like, you're talking to that person, but the head is like up in space, right? Thinking about physics or something. But it's like, and it doesn't have to be physics, right? It's just they've got this like almost surrealist way of seeing the world where, and again, very, very Pisces, like, it's like reality is not reality, or they understand that our perception of reality is not 100% accurate. And this is a legitimate fact. So if you look at like what physicists say about understanding reality, and the way our senses process what we think is really there, you know, we're not actually seeing things or understanding things as they are actually there. It's one of those kind of like, it'll break your brain kind of conversations, but if you want to kind of like Google it and look into it, it's fascinating. And it's not saying that reality is not real, it's saying that we don't perceive it 100% accurately. And this person seems to perceive reality in a very different way, where it's almost like it's overlaid with, it's just a really different understanding of how everything works. I'm hearing molecular level. So it's like this person understands that the patterns of nature, for example, and something that you can see, like something that's observable in the universe, something that's observable in space, you could also perhaps observe on the level of an atom, or like, you know, how there's a lot of things coming through now where instead of having separate fields of like physics, biology, chemistry, people are now combining their understanding of those different fields to do like, I don't know, bioengineering, right? Or biochemical engineering, which is like biology, chemistry and physics, right? It's like a combination of all of them, because you understand, like, you know, like you know, people understanding the receptors of the brain better, and how, you know, the atoms and the cells in the brain like work and pass messages to each other, like how mycelium passes messages to each other, like in the earth. It's like what's observable in one situation or one field is also observable and applicable to another field. But at the same time, the rules of physics, if they can be broken in one field, they can also be broken in this field. Like, it's big brain time stuff, right? And I don't understand it fully myself. It's only because I get these messages all the time that I kind of like start looking stuff up and trying to understand it. So this is the sort of person, like, this is really, again, it's almost like you're connecting with a spaceman, right? That's how it kind of feels. You're connecting with somebody who has either a completely different perspective on how things work, or they have a completely different, like an advanced view. Again, like Aquarius energy is coming up a lot. Aquarius is very advanced. It's like advancement in technology and things like that. So it's like this person has a really advanced concept of reality. And so there's something about, okay, to make our dreams a reality, to manifest things from the dream space, the 3D, the astral, into reality, we're going to do it in a different way. And it's like they see it as possible, right? This is a weird message, but it's what I'm getting from the cards. So what I'm actually seeing, right? Do you see in these two cards, it's like they're dreaming. It's like almost like they're explaining it to you. Like, this is a friend, and their brain works in like a strange way where they have this, it's almost like outer space way of perceiving the world. And, you know, it's like you're listening to their ideas, you're listening to their dreams, you're trying to understand, you know, their own inner world, their own headspace. Maybe it is you connecting to a Cancer. And it seems like you're looking after them, right? It's like, it's almost like you're protecting that. You're protecting this. It could be a child of yours, right? You know, maybe, again, a child perhaps with a learning difficulty where, you know, they're very inwards. And because there's a lot going on in there, right? It's like they're living inside their own head. They're living inside this own fantasy world. But it's fascinating, and it's full of, because it's so unique, right? It's like full of potential. It's full of ideas that can be tapped into, because the brain doesn't work. It's like Einstein's brain, right? It's like it just doesn't think like everybody else's brain, or like Stephen Hawking's or something, right? It's like they're whatever's going on inside their head, it's very different to what goes on inside most people's heads. So it's like, to get them to sit down in a classroom and like do something that seems incredibly mundane and pointless to them, because they've got all this, it's like they've got the universe inside their head. So why would they want to, I don't know, make a macaroni picture? It's just not what they want to do. So, and maybe they're not very practical, right? I've got a Pisces sun. He's like this. He's like, just not practical. So it's like you're constantly kind of like, because you don't want to, it's like you understand them. You understand that they're very special, that they're very unique, right? And to do the mundane tasks on Earth, it's hard for them. So it's like you're the one running around when they forget their lunch bag, right? It's like they forgot the lunch bag, they forgot the lunch pot. Why can't I speak again? Maybe again this person could have a stutter or something, like communication issues. It's like they've forgotten their lunch bag, so you're like in the car, like running to school to give them the lunch bag, right? So they're not worrying. And then they're sat there with lunch. So yeah, it's like what I'm seeing is like, this is their dreams. This is like their vision of the future. And it's like fascinating and unique, but it's like something like it's already here, because you already have all the answers. So whatever they're trying to make happen on Earth, it's like something that can be applied, something that we're trying to do here on Earth. Like we already know how to do this because it's already observable if we look to space, right? So it could be something to do with the oceans. It's like we're trying to bioengineer the ocean or something. But we know how to do this because if we look to space, we can see that taking place up there on a, you know, it's like a different setting or a different environment, but it's like the same, the physics apply to the two different things. So then it's like it's coming down, right? So again, like I feel like it was Capricorn. I'm not 100% sure now, but it's like what's solid isn't solid anymore. It's like something's coming down from one reality into our reality. So then you see here in the background, it's like all of a sudden it's, if I put them like this, it's like the sky is falling, right? It's like comets or meteors or stars falling down to Earth. But it's like, if you think of the universe as being like an ocean, you know, like if you think about how it could be something to do with like weightlessness or like gravity or mass and things like this, and density. So you know how like we float in a pool. Have you ever done that where you've gone to a swimming pool and you've been kind of like, you know, maybe you've gone with kids and you're doing like the moonwalk, you know, like where you kind of like, one small step for man. I'm a big kid, so I do things like that all the time. One giant leap for mankind, and you're kind of like bounding weightlessly in the swimming pool, like you would do if you were walking on the moon. So maybe it is the deep sea astronaut, right? Which is one of my own cards from my own visions. It's like maybe like astronauts who train in water because the conditions are similar in some sort of way as to what they would be on the moon. So do you see how it's like it applies to both? Okay, I'm getting sucked into this. I'm so fascinated. So like with the sky falling, with like the wishes and the dreams and the hopes coming down to Earth, like the universe, like this, it's like the ocean in the sky is now the ocean in the Earth. So you see with this kind of like topsy-turvy thing happening. And then here as well with it like raining down. Do you see? It's like it's, and then it's like putting your hands out to catch it. So it's almost like catching raindrops in your hand, but you're actually catching like tiny little messages from, I feel like it does tie into Cancer's reading in a way. It's like, how fascinating is that? I don't have all the answers, right? I'm not 100. Take a chance on them. Take a chance on them. Yes, they may seem strange. Yes, they might be kind of hopeless in terms of like they're not practical. You know, maybe you are like a teacher, like this was coming through in Cancer's reading, like you're a teacher, or you're like taking people on to train them in some sort of way. And like this person's really out there, right? It's like, you know, that if this person joins your school or your business, the practical side is not going to be there. You know, you're going to really have to kind of like protect them and kind of like train them and kind of like hold them up, because like they're not going to remember to bring lunch to work, right? You're going to have to be prepared to like give them money so that you can buy a meal, right? Or it's like, you know, that this person's, they're going to forget to feed themselves, right? Or they're going to get so wrapped up in what they're doing that, you know, they missed the last bus home, so you're going to have to like drive them home. It's like they're that sort of person, like they need support with the practical side, but it's worth it to tap into whatever's going on in that inner world. Like it's like they've got the universe inside the head, like something really, really unique going on in there. And it's like I feel like you see it, right? You're willing to take a chance on them, and make a change. Maybe make a change, perhaps to, if this I saw 3131. So I don't know if that's it. Maybe somebody's age 31. They're in office 31, the door number 31. I don't know, clause number 31. So it's like perhaps you are. Again, it could be that you're a parent and you're speaking to the school and saying like, you need to change the way the school works, because you need to be supporting my child's needs, right? Something like that. Or it's like you're in a workplace and you're like, I really want to get this person on the team. Maybe you do. Maybe you work in like the field of physics or something, right? And you're like, I want to bring this person on to work on this project. You know, it's like untapped potential here. Like there's so much to draw from this person's mind, but you know, maybe they don't have the qualifications. Maybe they don't have like that kind of like on paper. It's like maybe they know it all, right? Maybe they've got the brain of like a physics professor. Like anything that a physics professor would know, this person knows, right? But they haven't got the academic skills to go and get the degree itself. But it's like wasting the potential if you don't tap into this. If you don't change the, I don't know, the employment rules. Maybe it's like, this person can only get on the course if they have 2 A levels, and you're like, they don't have 2 A levels, but they're just as smart as, you know, they're smarter than half the kids coming in here. It's got that kind of energy to it. Okay, I've been talking for ages. I'm getting too in depth in these readings. So what's going on between, okay. It's like, hurry up, sweets and candy. Maybe you motivate this person with sweets and candy. Maybe it's like, right, if you do your homework, maybe you do your homework, then then you can have the sweets. Right, it's like it's incentive. How do you incentivize this person? So it doesn't have to literally be sweets and candy, but it's like it's like the carrot on the stick. It's like, how do you incentivize this person? How do you motivate this person? How do you draw this person in? You're giving me sweet like chocolate boy. Okay, I'm gonna pull all the cards for the energy in between you both. All in one big go, and then I'm going to shuffle them to get the story. So just bear with me while I get all the cards out. The energy between Scorpio and their person, please. The energy between impatience. Maybe you're getting a bit frustrated. It's like, if you forget your lunch again, the Emperor. Yeah, dad. Are you the dad of this person? Or a fatherly figure? This is a really protective. This is a really, really protective Emperor. It's like, get behind my back. I'm going to defend you. So yeah, you feel like you're fighting in this person's corner in some sort of way, where you're defending them, or like sticking up for them, or I feel like you understand them better than other people do. It's like you're willing to give them a chance, where other people perhaps are impatient with them. Right, okay, thank you. They want something else. Hang on. This deck's chatting. Right, a lot from that deck. Right, okay. And then anything from here? There we go. Okay. Oh, there's the Emperor and Hierophant again. This card's been coming up a lot. Like an apprentice. Yeah, so some of the people may have questions about this. They may be like, is that fair? Is that fair to take this person on and change the rules for them? Like, you know, I had to have A levels. Why doesn't that person have to have A levels? So it could be that there's other people who aren't happy about this, who have questions about it, who don't see it as fair. But I think you do see it as fair, because it wouldn't be fair for this person to go and get those same benchmarks, right? Because they're a different person. It's like the framework doesn't work for them. But to not bring them in would be missing out on. It's almost like a muse or a somebody who just sees things really uniquely in a way that other people don't. So it's like you're not getting, if you just keep getting people in based on that framework, you're not getting the outside the box perspective. And sometimes you need the outside, the madman in the room to throw a spanner in the works and say, hey, what if we did it this way? And it's like maybe you've been at a bit of a stalemate where nobody else can see any way of doing something, and this person just kind of like pulls a rabbit out of a hat and says, hey, have you tried this? And it's like, why did no one else think about that? And then it like works, and it's like magic. And it's just this person, just like the way they read a situation is completely different to how everybody else does. So there's a purpose to have that, right? So it's like the framework needs to make room for that. It's like a need. It's like a seat that isn't being filled by the current team. What do we have? Yeah, so that's the establishment. The Emperor and the Hierophant is basically, this is the way we've always done it. I've had to work really hard to get here. This is the framework. This is the tradition. This is the way we've always done it. Why would we change it if this is the way it works? And it's like the boss and, I don't know, it's like the dad and the grandfather, you know, the traditional people. And then the Six of Cups. So this is talking about equal give and take. It could be talking about children. It could be talking about soulmates. It could be talking about nostalgia. I think you do have nostalgia, right? So nostalgia for the old ways. Again, you could be dealing with like, you know, like older people. So specifically older men, but it doesn't have to be. But like the older generation, you can be very nostalgic for the way that they did things. And they're like, I remember when I was a lad, you know, schools would do this. And it's like, yeah, but look how you turned out. I don't know. Or it's like, okay, that's how you did it then because it suited society then. Society's changed now, you know, for the grandchildren. The grandchildren are in a very, very different place where, you know, the way that you did it doesn't, you know, we've seen that there's a better way to do things, or we've seen that there's other ways of doing things. So yeah, that way works really, really well for you, but to others it can seem like a trap or a cage, right? So it's like, it has a feeling of like passing the olive branch as well. You know, maybe like you are going through with quite like fatherly energy, but you don't have to be. It's almost like maybe in a disagreement with your own father, right? So granddad, about how you're educating your children, or how it could be like you and, you know, maybe you have a position in work where you're like a supervisor and this is your boss, something like that, where like the older person, the senior person is really kind of like stuck in the old ways, where you're trying to bring in kind of like, I don't know, fresh talent or unique perspectives. It's like you're trying to progress something here. Somebody else had a similar reading to this, where it was like, I was talking about that film, Not Him, King of Cups, Not Him, that's you, Scorpio, by the way. Yeah, so I can't remember which reading it came out for though. What next, please? So it does seem a children theme to the water sign readings today. 8 of Wands, taking action, communicating, taking action. It could be like quick back and forth as well. It could be like, you know, communication suddenly starts. Again, it could be like olive branch, right? So it's like there's this back and forth. So it's like negotiations, negotiating back and forth. How do we make this fair? How do we make this equal? How do we make sure everybody's emotional needs are met in this situation? It's got a bit of like the cream on the top. Why is it woman though? Let me be your woman. maybe this is like, because this is very patriarchal, it's very masculine, the emperor and the hierophant. It's kind of like old-fashioned, you know, like in Victorian times they used to have the gentleman's club, and it was like only men could vote and only men could do politics because men have got bigger brains than women. So it could be like some kind of old-fashioned way of doing things where it's mostly predominantly men, and you know, to have, what does she say, a woman's touch, to bring a woman's touch to it, again with like the baking, like that's traditionally like the feminine, right? So it's almost making me think of like the Lysistrata, which is a Greek play where like the woman's talking about, she's applying, that's again coming up with that theme of like applying something into a different situation. So in the Lysistrata, she's talking about, I may be pronouncing it wrong, I pronounce everything wrong, don't worry about it. She's talking about having a ball of wool. So she's talking about something that's very homely, and something that's familiar to the traditional female role, right? So again, this could be like a grandfather who's like, back in the 50s, women would stay at home and raise the children and men would go out to work. You know, it's like they've got a very old way of thinking. But in the Lysistrata, she's talking about unraveling wool and drawing out all the knots and making it nice and orderly. She's taking that and applying the same concept to politics and running a polis, right, a city, a country in ancient Greece. So yeah, so the idea of like taking the skills that you use in the home and using it in a workplace environment is what's coming through there. Doesn't that look like the guy in the gentleman's club? This is somebody who is perfectly happy with the way that they're doing things. Again, he looks a bit like a grandfather. Perfectly happy about the way that they've been doing things. Perfectly happy with the life they've built for themselves. They're quite independent. They're emotionally independent. They're not emotionally needy. Maybe that's coming through as you. I don't know if somebody's cross-watching for a Scorpio, so take it as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. It's like, do you know what? I'm quite good where I am. You know, I've got plenty of wine, I've got plenty of fruit, I've got my orchard, I've got my vineyard. I don't really need a woman in the mix, right? I don't really need, but there is stagnancy with that. Again, take it as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. It's coming through, it's a general reading, so there's going to be a bit in here for one person, a bit in there for another person. It's going to come through in different ways. Take what resonates, leave anything that doesn't, and remember it's entertainment at the end of the day. So what else? What's next? This is like, you know, millennials with the coffee. But let's think of another way to do this. What if we did it like this? Well, if we did it like that, I wouldn't have as many glasses of wine, and what would happen to my vineyard? I don't want to have to pay more taxes. I worked to get what I have. Why do I care about the kids? Send the kids out to get a paper route. You know, that kind of person. They've forgotten, right? They've forgotten what it was like to actually be a kid because they're just such an old fart now. Judgment, second chances, reviving something, learning lessons. Like, we've learned everything we can here, right? We tried to revive this. We tried to give this a new lease of life. And you know what? In the process, we learned lessons. It's interesting that just how those two cards are placed, just how the kind of light comes through like this, right? Judgment. So there could be a judgment being made in a situation. I don't think this person seems, whoever this is, I don't think they seem like they're too excited about the idea. Look at the guy sat on his throne. Yeah, you again, remember cross watches of everything. So if you're like a lovely Scorpio and it's been resonating so far and now you're like, wait, that's not me. This could be a second Scorpio for you. It could be somebody cross watching for a Scorpio. But this is, I mean, there's somebody sat here and I feel like they have got quite deep feelings about this. You know, their heart is open. They're coming through almost like a benefactor. Look at him sat with his cup in his hand. So I think they're considering something actually here. I think, do you know, like, do you ever have that, like, the you know, the old granddad figure who's like really curmudgeonly and he's like, I'm not changing, back in my day. But it's like they love their family and they have listened. And it's like they go away and it might take them months, right? But they'll think about it. And then maybe they concede a little bit. They're like, okay, do you know what? We'll give it a try, but we'll do it my way. You know, like, maybe we'll give this, I don't know. It's like they do, there is love here. There are deep emotions here. They are compassionate. And then the Queen of Swords. Because somebody here is very intelligent. They're coming into this with a good argument, right? This is a wealth. This isn't just like pie in the sky. Whatever this pitch is, because it feels like a pitch, it's not just pie in the sky. And don't you feel like that's the woman in the men's club, the woman in the gentleman's club? It's like, yeah, but I could probably debate with you. It's like me and Boris Johnson. I've actually got the same knowledge as you, right? And maybe I didn't have the same access to the same. Look at all the books. What is that making me think of? That's making me think of like the girl reading like Grandad's library or something. The library reading! What was that? Access granted. It's like she's proven herself. It is coming through as like a woman, right? See, she's just as intelligent. She can debate on the same topics. She could probably win a chess game. It's like the Queen of Swords is like any man who's like, oh, women's brains are not actually big enough to be able to run parliament. You know, like that old-fashioned view. This is the woman that proves them wrong. This is the woman that can, you know, debate the man into the ground, right? Because she's so intelligent, so well-read. She knows what she's doing. She's thought about it long and hard. Libra energy. But this is something about appealing to the emotions, and this is something about appealing logically. The Emperor. So now this is something to be defended. So again, I feel like, again, it could be like your daughter or something. It's like, again, take it as it resonates, because it is a woman on this throne. Maybe like it is a little bit like House of Dragon, right? If you think of House of Dragon, and sorry if there's spoilers, but, you know, skip ahead if you don't want spoilers for House of Dragon. The old man on the throne, right? And his daughter, I keep getting that song, I'm heading straight for the castle, they're going to make me their queen, by Halsey. But there's an old man sitting on the throne saying you probably shouldn't be so mean. So it's making me think of like House of Dragon, where, you know, the old king, and he's such a good king, like Paddy, what's his name? Paddy something. Like, oh my god, that man deserves like an Oscar or something, because he plays that role so perfectly. He's like, oh, he's just like such a great character. But he wants his daughter, he wants his oldest daughter to be the next queen. And it's very unpopular with the people, and it's like it's unpopular with his like cabinet, and there's a lot of resistance to this idea, even though she's clearly intelligent. She's clearly got all the, there's a scene where she goes out like and defends herself against a wild boar and things, and she's clearly got all the qualities of, you know, that you'd expect from a monarch, that you'd expect from a ruler. And it feels now like almost like the old king, like the father figure, is now defending his decision to put his daughter on the throne. So it's not going to be literally like that. Again, this is talking about dream space, imagination, fantasy, even what's happening on the 3D. This is kind of giving me, you know, like, your great granddad would turn over in his grave if he knew that this was. But I like this. Look at how protective he is of her. Because he knows her worth, right? He knows that she has a unique perspective. And it can be having the woman in the room. So say that this was like marketing, right? And it's like, right, we're 10 men and we're running this marketing campaign, and we're going to sell lady shaves, you know, like ladies razors. Women want to be sexy. How do we advertise this? It's like the men will be attracted to you if you shave your legs. And like the woman in the room is like, that's not going to work. That's like, you'd seen that from the male gaze. Like, if you're advertising to a woman, you need a woman to, you know, to understand what the consumer needs. It has that kind of feeling. Page of Wands. This always makes me think of Page of Pentacles, though. I think because she's wearing green and she's holding something in her hand. So somebody's really excited here, really excited to get started. Yes, they're very creative, and you may have concerns about how practical they are, but I think this is something that you can work on, right? I think this is something that is like a learnable skill. Yeah, they may not come naturally to that kind of like more practical side, but I think they do have the ability to at least get to that kind of like page level, right? But it's the creativity that you're tapping into. It's the inspiration. It's the muse energy that's being tapped into here. But it's really exciting, and it feels quite fast. There is some disappointment. There is some grief. There is some loss. There's this feeling of like, Well, that didn't work out, did it? But there's potential for a new start here, which is going to feel much more equally balanced. If you've been feeling like the glass is half empty, I feel like you're going to be feeling like the glass is half full. Like, fascinating with these, like the girl in the wine cellar, right? Sneaking around. Right, there's something coming through with that. What's that? It could be like, my dad makes cider. My dad's business is cider making. I'm not going to take over, I'm not going to take over the business, right? I'm not. It's just doesn't align with me. But it has that kind of feeling to it there. I don't know. Three of Swords. Like heartbroken? Kind of like Caesar in his tent, drawing up a new plan. Three of Swords into the Four of Swords. So whatever the loss is, whatever the heartbreak is, there is potential to heal this. But somebody may need some solitude. Someone may need some time alone to really process whatever's given them that sense of loss and grief and heartache. What else, please? Could be something to do with health as well. Again, my dad's company is a cider making business. In the UK, cider is alcoholic. If it's not alcoholic, it's apple juice, not cider. So, I mean, you can get alcohol free, right? But it's like, that's not what we call it. But I grew up in a pub. I have a very difficult relationship with alcohol, and so there's a moral aspect to that for me. And I'm just noticing here, it's like, there's a health aspect, obviously. My mum had a difficult relationship with alcohol. You know, my mum's passed away. So this wine's kicked over and she's eating fruit. So there's something about health consciousness. Maybe healing. So maybe somebody has drank too much and they need to heal from that. Temperance, yeah. Yeah, somebody needs to slow down with the drink. Somebody needs to be more temperate and take the time to heal. To heal their body, to heal physically, to see the health benefits, like physically see the health benefits of having a better diet. And then the world, so like, is it the world or is it judgment or is it the Lover's card? That's like completion. Like something wrapping up, something, let me just get the box, hold on. I've put the boxes away to keep everything from being like too messy. It's giving me world energies because it's like the last piece of the puzzle kind of like finally slotting in, like slotting into place. Yeah, the world, fulfillment. It says, soon you will be faced with a series of favourable circumstances that may finally make your dream come true, fulfilling all your hopes and aspirations. So just be patient, it is coming. Yeah, it's like that dream is like the sky is being, like the stars are being pulled down to earth. That manifestation process is happening. All right, I hope this was really helpful to you. I hope it was insightful. If it was just a piece of entertainment, I hope it entertained you. Again, don't take anything as 100% factual accuracy, but if it gave you something to think about, if it gave you a new perspective, then that's great. Okay, so take care of yourselves. I will see you again soon. Bye bye.